Imagine packing a gourmet French lunch every day, only for it to mysteriously vanish before you can even taste it. Now imagine that happening again, and again, and again, until one day, you snap. That's what happened to me, and by the time I was done, the office thief didn't just lose their appetite, they lost their promotion. Maybe even their reputation, forever. If you've ever had someone take what's yours, if you've ever wanted justice so badly you could taste it, then hit that like button, subscribe and follow, and settle in. Because today, you're about to hear one of the most cold, calculated, and karmically satisfying revenge stories the internet has ever seen. Hi. You can call me Ethan, and this story takes place in the all-too-familiar battleground we call the office kitchen. Now, if you've ever worked in a corporate office, you probably already know there's always a lunch thief, always. But this one was different. He was aggressive, brazen, like some kind of sandwich-stealing ghost that haunted our fridge with greasy fingers and zero remorse. At first, it was just whispers, rumors. You'd hear people grumbling at their desks, frustrated sighs around noon. Hey, anyone seen my lunch? I swore I brought that pasta today. Even I brushed it off at first. Maybe someone grabbed the wrong brown bag. Accidents happen, right? That was the official HR line, too. Employees' lunches are their personal property, and the company is not responsible for lost or stolen personal items. Translation? You're on your own, buddy. Still, I stayed optimistic until my lunches started going missing.
Now, let me be clear. This wasn't just some peanut butter and jelly situation. My wife had recently taken a French cooking course, and every day she'd send me to work with literal restaurant-quality meals. Beef bourguignon, coq au vin, duck confit. We're talking white tablecloth-level lunches, boxed up and lovingly labeled, waiting for me like tiny treasures in the fridge. And someone was stealing them. The first time, I thought it was a fluke. The second time, a coincidence. But the third time, that was personal. I tried everything. I wrote my name in thick black Sharpie across the bag. I buried it deep in the back of the fridge like a squirrel hiding gold. Gone. So I got smart. I kept it at my desk one day. Sure, it was a little inconvenient, and I had to eat early to avoid spoilage, but at least I'd know where it was. Wrong again. I stepped away for a few minutes to take care of something, and poof, vanished, right off my desk, in broad daylight, while dozens of coworkers strolled by. That was when I knew. This was no accident. This thief, he wasn't just taking lunches, he was targeting me. Furious, I stormed into HR. But all I got was the same soulless response. Employees' lunches are their personal property. We're not responsible for stolen items. Sarcastically, irritated, they sent out a memo, one of those fake nice corporate emails saying, "Please double-check names before removing food." But made it clear it wasn't about my complaints. So what was I supposed to do? Eat those prehistoric vending machine sandwiches that tasted like damp cardboard and sadness? Reflective, tired. I ranted every night to my wife. Her advice? Go back to boring lunches and hope the thief moved on. But I wasn't about to let this criminal downgrade me from creme brulee to bologna. Then the world changed. The pandemic hit. We all went remote. For a while, the lunch thief was the last thing on my mind. My wife and I ended up getting divorced during lockdown. A whole different story. Eventually, months later, we were called back into the office. New rules, new normal,
but the same crusty vending machine sandwiches still haunted the break room. And guess what else was still around? The thief. Because the very first day I was back in the building, my lunch was gone. I was tired, emotionally wrecked, still wearing a button-up I hadn't touched in over a year. And now this one stupid lunch was the thing that broke me. The feeling of powerlessness hit me like a wave. And then I felt it. Resolve. The next day, I came in early with an empty lunch bag. I carefully took the HR rep's lunch, a plain brown bag, and swapped the contents into my decoy bag. Then I ditched their original bag and slipped mine back into the fridge. To make sure I wouldn't be around to scare off the thief, I loudly announced to the office that I had a client meeting out of the building and wouldn't be back until 3 p.m. Then I moved my car down the street just in case. But I didn't leave. Instead, I climbed the back stairs and camped out near the break room. Out of sight, but within earshot. Waiting. After half an hour of quiet shuffling and boring office chatter, I heard it. HR rep. "What the heck, Kyle? That's my lunch!" Thief, Kyle. "Nah, it's not your name on the bag." HR rep. "Give me that!" Rustling. A pause. Then, "Yeah, let's head to my office for a chat." Boom! Caught. Later that afternoon, I was called in by HR. They gave me a stern talking to about lunch bag tampering and inappropriate break room behavior. But I could see it in their eyes. They knew. I'd forced their hand. They'd found the thief, confirmed it, and he was going to face consequences. But the best part? His reveal happened in front of the entire break room. Kyle, the same smug coworker who had been in line for a promotion, was now the official lunch-stealing pariah. His promotion? Dead in the water. And every time someone walked into the kitchen and gave him a look, he knew exactly what it was for. In the end, I didn't go through all that for credit. I didn't even do it just for revenge. I did it because sometimes, when no one else will stand up for you, you have to stand up for yourself. Or, at the very least, for your lunch. If this story gave you chills or made you want to slap a "Do Not Touch" sticker on your next sandwich, hit that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen at work? And don't forget to subscribe and follow for more stories of justice, karma, and comeuppance every single week.